listening to a download from theoutdoorstation.co.uk. Number 572.
Hello and welcome back to The Outdoor Station. I'm your host Bob Cartwright, and I've been producing podcasts for fans of the great outdoors ever since 2005. Although my primary interest is in self-powered travel and stories associated with it, I do like to touch on all aspects of items that may be of general interest to outdoors fans everywhere, such as the outdoor trade in general, product development, sustainability, and so on. This is part 4 of a 5-part mini-series recorded at the recent UK Outdoor Trade Show. And some outdoors people might consider it less worthy of their time than other, more exciting outdoor content. However, as I hope you will already have gathered, there's a lot of useful information included within these podcasts, and this will help you look after your gear for longer. We all know that prices aren't coming down anytime soon, so repair and warranty considerations are an even more important part of your purchasing journey. One company that does have a fabulous reputation for just that is, of course, Therm-a-Rest, who were displaying a new development in their range, leaning a little bit more towards comfort, which could appeal greatly to the larger user. Lindsay Morrison is the marketing manager, and she tells us more.
As we move towards 2025, I think Therm-a-Rest is seeing a shift in the market where there's more focus on comfort. In the past, Therm-a-Rest has been very well known for fast and light products, and I feel like the new products that we're launching in 2025, and that's a mattress and a sleeping bag, very much cover that backpacking comfort. So it's gear that's still packable and fairly lightweight, but it's clearly offering users comfort, something that they haven't had before, perhaps from the fast and light gear.
But you're not abandoning the fast and light though, are you?
Oh, absolutely not. No, the X-Lite was updated last year. It is our best-selling mattress and will continue to be.
So looking at these, the new mattress you're showing in front of me, which is very bright orange, you're not going to miss that one obviously, but it comes in a variety of colours I presume. Tell me some of the features, because as you say, it's a rectangular mattress that's obviously a lot thicker than anything else you've got on the shelf here.
It is. So the Neo Loft, which is its full name, is a fully air mattress. It's 11.7 centimetres thick. It has this beautiful stretch knit fabric finish, which gives users a little bit of extra comfort when they're lying on it. Obviously, they're almost 12 centimetres off the ground, so there is a significant R value, which is 4.7 in this. To give you an idea of how that sits in the range, the X-Lite is 4.5. It was increased last year, and that's creeping into the 4-season territory. So this is certainly covering your 3 seasons and maybe even into the 4th season. It is extra wide. It comes in a regular wide and a large size.
Is this, what are we looking at here?
This is the regular wide size you're looking at. So the height is a kind of standard height that you would find in Therm-a-Rest mats. Mm-hmm. The large takes you much higher at the top. Okay. It also has what's called side rails at the side, which make you feel like you're being kept into the mattress. You're not going to roll around or roll off.
That's the one thing about the X-Lite that I've found, as comfortable as it is, I tend to slip and slide it and fall off the side of it. But certainly the ability to be held within the mattress will aid for a better night's sleep generally. Yes. Now, I mean, what's the marketplace you're looking at for this type of product? Because obviously it's not the super light backpacking market. You're looking at some other market, but who do you think is going to be served well with this?
I think there's probably a range of consumers who'd be interested in this. I still think your traditional backpackers who are interested in perhaps sacrificing a little bit of weight that they're carrying for an additional element of comfort. Because the pack size is relatively small and it's almost identical to the pack size of our X-Therm mattress, for example, I still think the traditional backpackers are going to be interested. That said, it clearly is designed for those who want comfort in any particular place. So car camping, those who are heading to a campsite and just want a little bit of extra comfort in their large tent or large family tents, again, it's going to be ideal for that. So I think it spans a number of different customers and still targets those specific Therm-a-Rest customers who are familiar with the brand and the offering. It's perhaps not ideal for those packing ultralight because 850 grams is the weight of the regular wide. But like I said, the pack size is still small, so I still do believe that those backpackers are going to be interested in this mattress.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would think the motorcycle camping marketplace, perhaps, as I say, car campers, but certainly there's this crossover between backpacking, the lightweight marketplace, and the family marketplace. You've got the sort of the motorcycle campers, you've got the paddlers,
yes.
Who do like a good
yes.
bit of rest. And generally, when paddlers are camping, they're camping on fairly rough ground.
Yes.
Talking of which, what's the material durability like with this compared to something like the Neo Airs?
The stretch knit fabric on top gives you an extra sense of durability. The rear fabric is the standard fabrics that you have across the other Neo Air range, which is highly durable. So the extra durability on the stretch knit, I think, gives folk a little extra sense of security when they're sleeping on it.
Okay. And when's this on the market, and what sort of money are we talking about?
This is £250 sterling RRP for the regular wide. It's available from January 1st, 2025.
25, lovely, okay. And then you've done something else similar on the sleeping bag range as well, I understand.
So this is the Therm-a-Rest Boost 650. So it has 650 goose down fill. And unlike a number of other Therm-a-Rest sleeping bags, which have a fairly tapered fit to the bottom of them, really designed to be, again, similar to the mattresses, ultralight and packable. The Boost is wider at the bottom, so it's far closer to a fully rectangular fit at the bottom to give users a little bit of extra space should they need it. The great thing about the Boost and how it got its name is this central zip. So this, we're calling it the warm zip because it does exactly what that says. It adds up to 5 degrees of warmth on top of the standard temperature. Now the temperature ratings for the Boost bag is -6 degrees and 0 degrees, which are the standard temperatures you tend to get from Therm-a-Rest. So it gives you that extra 5 degrees boost.
Okay, just to describe it to listeners perhaps, it's sort of a concertina type principle in the centre of the bag, and the zip closes the extra padding, but when the zip is open, the bag is still a contained bag.
Yes.
There's no gaps as such. But talking of gaps, we've obviously got side zips here as well, which is quite interesting.
Normally we've had armholes on our higher rated expedition sleeping bags, the Polar Ranger for example, and that really was designed for those who were on expedition in the snow, being able to drink their coffee or their hot tea or whatever it was they were trying to keep warm with. The armholes have been hugely popular, so we have brought them out for the Boost bag, so it gives it an extra little piece of versatility when you're at camp. If you want to cook even when you're sitting in your sleeping bag or drink hot drinks, it's perfect for that.
Okay, so I mean again, marketplace, it's not the super light range, obviously with all the extra zips and things that's going to add up. So where are you looking at for this? I mean, I see this being of interest to the larger person,
yes,
who's got a larger chest area, which has always been a regular complaint that the standard mummy-shaped bag, no matter the brand, always tends to be a little bit on the tight side. But aside from the larger person, where do you see this going?
I feel like the Boost is slightly more towards the entry-level portion of the market, certainly for where Therm-a-Rest is concerned. It does give you that extra versatility, and I feel like as you go up the scale in Therm-a-Rest towards the ultra-lightweight Hyperion, you have less versatility because it's lightweight, but it's incredibly narrow. It's designed specifically to be carried long distance, whereas the Boost is not necessarily so. It does pack down relatively small, comparative to the Questar, but not quite as small as the Hyperion and Parsec. So I still feel like those who are willing to sacrifice a little bit of weight and a little bit of space in their pack in order to get that extra comfort and that extra width in particular.
Yeah, and I think you said it's got some, did I say, a foot vent as well?
Oh yes, so the full zip on the sleeping bag actually unzips from the bottom as well as the top, which means that if you get too warm you can stick your feet out without having to unzip the entire bag.
Okay.
And the armholes actually make it even better for that because you can reach down without having to
Yeah, all great advantages.
Yes.
Again, price and availability?
It's £310 for the regular size. It's available, same as the Loft, on the 1st of January 2025.
Okay, well, obviously the other question that's been going around the show, particularly at the moment, is the whole PFCs, PFAS question and how it's affecting brands. Obviously, you're representing a lot of brands which are American-based, and they're having to react to the whole PFAS banning and question and so on. How do you see the development going on with Cascade at the moment on the Therm-a-Rest range and the different ranges that are American-based?
It has been a long-term transition. It started certainly a couple of years ago, certainly in the US, when our team was very quickly identifying exactly which products had PFAS in them. I myself would be surprised just how many contain PFAS in some way, shape or form. So our American colleagues are moving forward with that, obviously a lot faster than us with the regulations coming into the US next year. They are swapping over the products to make sure that everything that they have is PFAS-free. We will start to have that transition as well. We'll make sure that we're bringing in the same products so that we're a truly global brand, and we don't want to have different products in different territories. So both the Neo Loft that you've seen there and the Boost are PFAS-free. So we want to make sure that we're aligning with the PFAS strategy in the US, and it's slowly but surely taking place in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think in many respects it's fairly unique that America is actually leading the way
Yes.
on something like this.
Yes.
So I think the UK and EU marketplace are going to be forced to
Yes.
adapt, otherwise they're not going to sell into the US
Yes,
themselves.
exactly.
The other question is that the whole circular economy thing, repairing, recycling, returns and all that sort of thing. Have you changed any of your policies? And if not, what are they, just to remind people?
Our policies for Therm-a-Rest is a long-term warranty period. We do our repairs in-house in our Cork facility, which is our European head office, for the majority of MSR and Therm-a-Rest products there. Our MSR returns policy is a 3-year warranty on MSR products. The Therm-a-Rest policy is a limited lifetime policy which covers the majority of issues that you would encounter with your mattress or sleeping bag. Obviously it doesn't cover misuse. If you're laying your mattress, for example, on hard gravelly ground, it won't cover any scrapes or issues that you have related to that.
Just a reminder that if you do have a leaking Therm-a-Rest mat that you have not used for ages and tried to fix, then please return it via your retailer and they will pass it on to Therm-a-Rest and they will do their best to fix it for you as part of their service. Now, let's face it, we don't really give the humble sock much attention. It's usually the last impulse purchase when you buy footwear at the store and you're standing by the till. However, like everything else in the outdoors, a lot of time and technology has gone into making a product that could make the difference between a bad and a good day, as Darn Tough International Sales Manager Joe Nacito explains.
So in our socks we use merino wool, nylon, in this case recycled nylon. We're about 80% as a brand in recycled nylon, and branded Lycra.
Okay, and you've got is that right, a lifetime guarantee on the products?
Yeah, that's correct. Lifetime guarantee. What that means is if you can wear out our socks, we will replace them.
Where do you actually manufacture?
We manufacture in Northfield, Vermont, USA.
Okay, and the wool is supplied?
We use global brokers. We work with the RWS supply chain, which is the responsible wool standard. And what that means is we can get merino from brokers that check all the boxes for to prevent animal cruelty, give good land stewardship, and make sure that there's no chemicals harmful to humans in the process.
And what about the range itself now? Because I mean, it's quite a colourful, extensive range that I can see. So describe how the company's changed over the last, say, 5 or 10 years.
Okay. Well, change really, we've always focused on the durability of our product. So the biggest change is that every single day we're trying to make more durable products. We know that a sock today is more durable than a sock was that we made 5 years ago. And we know that 5 years from now, they will be more durable than they are today.
Okay, well, I mean, certainly with the circular economy and making things durable and that will last a long time, are you not putting yourself out of business in some way?
No, we don't think so. We think, we look around, everybody's got socks. I think the demand for a premium sock that is, not only more functionally better, but more comfortable and longer lasting is still there. So we still have a lot of untapped end consumers to reach.
And you say about being more comfortable. What's the design process that goes into something as simple to me as a sock?
Sure. Well, we start with circular knitting machines. They're amazing Italian knitting machines that, and then we have our own magic, which I probably couldn't even really explain it all, but the end result for us is a really dense sock, but not a bulky sock. And it's also a very snug fitting sock. And and the end result of that is a sock that's not moving around. And if it's not moving around, not only are you not getting hot spots and blisters, but it leads to the durability of the sock.
I was going to say, I mean, everybody's feet are different, aren't they? So you have people with high arch and wide toe box or whatever, and ankles can be completely different. So is that a tricky thing to try and bring into a design of a product like a sock, or do you sort of try and make it a generic thing that will fit everybody?
Yeah, good question. It's generally pretty generic based on the size, the length of the foot. As feet get longer, they typically get wider, so we can accommodate that. We focus with the socks have a decent amount of stretch to them, and so that can conform to all feet shapes.
And I'm also thinking about density as well, because sometimes you want more padding beneath the foot, presumably. Sometimes you want more padding on the ankle for some reason. Is that something that is part of the design process? Is that something you have to take into account?
Absolutely. So depending on the function of the sock, a hiking sock is going to be padded differently than a running sock. It's going to be padded differently than a ski or snowboarding sock. So we focus on the ideal areas to put the cushion, or in some cases where to remove cushion, so you don't have pinch points in your shoes and in say like a tight-fitting ski boot.
Well, I mean, that's a good point to expand on, actually, is what is the difference between those key areas? Because a lot of my friends are hikers. Obviously, there's the skiing, snowboards fraternity, then you've got the cyclists and so on. So what do you take into account for each activity?
Sure, we've got different weights of yarn, 4 different weights of yarn. So say a running sock would have an ultralight yarn or lightweight yarn, whereas a hiking sock would start generally in a lightweight, midweight, go all the way up to a heavyweight for an extreme cold Arctic adventure. Ski socks are always in the midweight range, generally speaking, so that's the first component. And then where we place the cushion, like I said before, is important and functional. And then how we design and where we put stretch or extra lycra for keeping the sock in place. So these are all factors we take into account.
Okay. I suppose finally, what about the barefoot market? Do they require a special sock?
Good question. I think I don't actually know how to answer that one. If there are the barefoot shoes, if that's what you're talking about, which would the kind of the typical 0 drop, minimal padding. They would, if they liked socks, and that's personal preference, then they would go after our thinnest sock. And that would be like an ultralight, no cushion. It's the absolute bare minimum to really just protect your skin from the shoe.
Still staying down in the lower area of your body, Zamberlan have an excellent reputation for service and customer support. Chris Davidson from CDA, the UK distributors, shares more background on why it is classed as a premium footwear brand.
Zamberlan is it's based in the northeast of Italy. It's about an hour from Venice, in the foothills of the Pico Dolomiti, the foothills of the Dolomites. It's a third-generation company founded by Giuseppe Zamberlan almost 100 years ago. And the boots have been manufactured in the same location for all of that time. So there's a labour force who are very skilled in manufacturing these quite special boots.
And I understand there's a particular relationship regarding the Vibram soles as well.
Yes. Giuseppe Zamberlan, the founder of the company, was the first person to use Vibram soles. The rubber soles that we all use on boots at the moment. Prior to that, it was all hobnails and leather soles. So Zamberlan were the first people to use Vibram.
Let's just talk about the actual design process in boots, because your shoes are boots and shoes are obviously very high quality, but they're not cheap.
Yes.
And talk me through the manufacturing and the design process, considering the end user.
Yes, the thing that's built into all Zamberlan products is the quality and the longevity of the product. The vast majority of the boots that we sell in the UK are resolable. So as soon as you've worn the sole down, it can be removed quite readily from the upper. The upper remains intact and the same shape. And you can then retrofit a brand new sole unit that will keep you going for many years, and more importantly, the boot that you end up with fits exactly the same way. The fit of it's not disrupted. And you can do that across the range now. We can go from alpine climbing boots that can be resoled through general walking boots, all the way down to sort of almost everyday fashion shoes that look and retail at much the same price as a trainer, but they're actually resolable and will have a considerably longer life. And that, in sustainability terms, is very important because the life of the product is massively extended.
Absolutely. I mean, the one of the issues about trainers coming in at 100, 150 pounds a pop, especially if you're using them for social reasons as opposed to fitness reasons, like you say, once they've reached the end of their life, there's nothing you can do with them. But if you're looking at a product of a similar sort of price, but the actual longevity value is much higher, then obviously it makes much more sense, a much better investment for your money. But for people in the UK that have a Zamberlan product, can it be fixed in the UK, or is there a problem sending it back to Italy?
No, we are the UK distributor, and we have a relationship with a company in Chesterfield called Pt4, who do all of the repairs of Zamberlan footwear here. They're very good. It's quite a skilled operation to be able to do that, but they have the technique and the machinery and the cement and the sole units and all of the components needed to service or resole Zamberlan footwear. So it's really just a case of the consumer can get in touch with us, CDA, the Mountain Works, and we can arrange to get the products repaired from them by Pt4 and sent directly back to them.
Fantastic. So just talking us through let's not say problem areas, but areas that can wear and need repair. You've got the sole, we've discussed that, then you've got the rand, then potentially you've got sort of the leather perhaps cracking or hinging in some way, and then internally I presume you might have splits in the stitching or catch it with some stone inside or whatever, and that it becomes a problem. Are you saying that all these things are repairable?
The vast majority, yes. You can, as you say, resole the boots when the sole unit wears out. The internal stitching that can be done. Even the external stitching, Pt4 can actually redo those. They can replace eyelets and D-rings, for example. And so the boots that have a rand attached to them, if they're extensively used, then the rand tends to flex in a different way to the rubber, and it can become detached over time. But Pt4 have the ability to get a new rand and glue it back in place.
I suppose finally the question would be, is the warranty, the guarantee, is it a lifetime guarantee, or is it you have to pay for it after a certain period of time for a repair?
Yes, the manufacturer's guarantee from Zamberlan covers 2 years, but really we assess the boots according to the wear and tear that they've had. If the boots have been well looked after and treated with Hydroblock cream, for example, on full grain leather boots, and taken care of, quite often we support the guarantee long after 2 years. But the point remains really that even if the boots are outside of the guarantee, there's very good scope to having them repaired and having them serviceable for years to come.
I don't think there can be anyone in the outdoors who hasn't heard of Osprey. After all, it is their 50th year celebration this very year. They were so popular, in fact, at the show, it took almost 2 days to get close to them. However, I did manage to catch up with key account manager Matt Haig just before they started to pack up, who was keen to share details about some of the new items Osprey have got coming in their range. They've also very kindly provided a discount code especially for Outdoor Station listeners, so stay tuned until after this.
So Osprey's kind of sustainability journey started in 2020, where we kind of wanted to limit the impact we'd had on the environment and the planet while still manufacturing the best quality packs that we can. The early things that we could change quite quickly was the DWR coating. So we originally, as most brands did, had a PFAS coating for the DWR, but one of the most simple things we can do to get rid of a forever chemical is to move away from it. So we now use more of a plant-based DWR coating. With the change, it obviously requires more looking after, more cleaning, more care, but it still performs as well as it did before.
So you've not noticed any difference in the performance?
In the short term, no, but as it does deteriorate quicker, and we want to make sure that customers are aware that things need care, need looking after. You can't leave something foistering under the stairs after a wet walk, we work with other partner brands like Nick Wax to help with gear care, so your product is still going to remain as water resistant as possible. Yeah,
I mean that's the one thing I've heard on a regular basis from conversations the last couple of days is yes, people are moving away from PFCs, etc., and they have to. You're an American brand, you're being obliged to, of course, but the other side of it is people have got to start to get used to more maintenance or more care as opposed to just accepting it's always going to work.
Yeah, I think so. I think the days of having a heavy duty bag that you can just leave and it will last and go. The products are designed to be built to last, but it's just the one component we've changed, which is for the better of the overall environment.
And how has it been received from your clients that have seen you over the last 3 days?
As the journey's kind of been ongoing for a couple of years, everyone's aware of what we're doing as a brand. There's the step change. So not just PFAS, we're moving into more sustainably sourced fabrics for the main body and the lining. We're actually up to nearly 100% of the whole overall range has got recycled content for the main body and the lining. The next kind of phase is to work for the proprietary components, so buckles, webbing, zips, and that's working with other manufacturers and suppliers that we use to build our overall packs.
Yeah, sure. So that story is obviously a positive selling story and getting more and more important for people. So tell me about a couple of the new products that are coming through, which I think people will be interested in.
Yeah, so the new Talon and Tempest range is coming out for Spring 25. The Talon and Tempest range has been in the collection since 2007, and we've updated it into its 5th generation to make it even better. It's lighter, it's more sustainable, and from a retail perspective, it's got one back length with loads of adjustments, so people are able to kind of fit the pack without too much kind of interaction if you're in a self-service store or ordering online as well. Designed for either single-day hikes or in the larger volumes you could do multi-day hikes, but as a lightweight, super comfortable contact back system.
Okay, well have you got one that's about 45 litres? We can actually take it down and have a look at it and just go through some of the key parts. Particularly the adjustable back system is what I'm interested in, I guess. So
the Talon range was originally formed to be a fast and light kind of hiking pack or adventure race pack. It's now matured much more into our iconic hiking pack. It's built around an airscape contact back system, so the weight stays nice and close to your body. So if you're on any kind of rough terrain, you're not having to worry about the centre of gravity being affected by your pack. But what we use is a recycled injection moulded frame sheet with some foam with ridges to provide excellent ventilation.
What sort of weight is the pack as the starting point?
So the Talon range, depending on which volume you go for, is under a kilo. The larger 44 litre is about 1.1.
Okay, that's very respectable then.
So we have in the larger volumes there is actually 2 back lengths still. As you get into a larger pack with more weight, you're probably expecting to have a better range of adjustment. So we do still do the larger 44 in 2 different back lengths depending on how tall you are or how long your back is. But the adjustment is a super simple webbing at the base of the back system that as you can loosen off the straps, the back system then can adjust.
Okay. Yeah, that's
depending on your height.
Yeah.
It's got a super comfortable foam harness and hip belt with hip belt pockets and our iconic stow on the go system for using trekking poles. It means you don't have to take your pack off and you can tuck them under your arm if you're doing a style, a scramble, or just you're on a flat piece of ground and you don't want to be using your poles.
And is the lid removable?
The lid is not removable. The lid is floating.
Floating lid. Okay. And this is moving into 2025?
Yeah, the Talon 44 exists at the moment, but this is the new version for Spring 25. So we've updated the sustainability credentials of the pack. So whilst we've still got recycled content through the main body of the fabric, we're now using higher content of recycled foams.
Okay. So continually moving forward. That's great to see. And what about the travelling packs that I see there? The sort of carry-ons.
So the Transporter collection is essentially our gear carrying, heavy duty gear carrying, but it's not just for duffels, not just for one hole to chuck all your kit in. For consumers that want an outdoor inspired travel pack, we've got the Transporter collection in the carry-on size, available in 36 and 44 litre, depending on which airline you're flying with. That will dictate which pack to go for, but it's got a really nice and comfortable airscape back system, so no matter where you're travelling, you've still got a little bit of ventilation. A harness system that can completely be tucked out of the way to protect it whilst it's in transit. Perhaps you've had to put it into the holder, it's going to have to come out on the conveyor belt. But it's all been designed to have as much organisation to make your travel as easy as possible. So you've got a laptop sleeve in the back, a clamshell style opening with mesh dividers and pockets, so there's a home for everything. You can keep your shoes separated from your clothing, or your dirty clothing separated from your nice clean clothing. Water bottle pocket on the side, and then a front organisation pocket for everything that you could possibly
reading
think
the paper when you're sitting in the waiting room.
And a key clip to make sure that no matter where you're going, you can still get into your house when you get back.
What sort of weight are these? Because that's the one thing about the packs. You're limited obviously to the carry-ons, aren't you?
So the packs themselves are about 1.5 kilos to begin with. So what you're getting is something super durable, something super comfortable with loads of organisation, and not taking up drastically amounts of your carry-on limit.
And very stylish as well. I mean, I would think that stands off the carousel quite easily compared to a lot of people's black sort of bags.
Yeah, we've added in quite a few bits of colour for next year. So this is our frosty mint green, and then we've got a really nice euphoria purple as well. So for customers that are looking for something a little bit brighter, we've got the colours, but then we've also got the more blue, the blue and the black. The traditional. Sort of navies and so on. So, I mean, what is this bag? Is this like a rope bag carry-on, or what's the purpose here? This is our Transporter gear tote. So this is designed for people that are either kind of car camping, van camping, doing any kind of water sports, anything muddy. So it's a bag which is essentially you dump things in. You don't really have to worry about organisation. It's not something you're going to take on as a check-in bag because it's open from the top. But what the larger volume gives you is the option to dump your wetsuit straight in it from a day surfing. You get back to the car after mountain biking, you're covered head to toe in mud. You don't want to chuck your shoes in the back of the car, your wet, dirty clothing. You can literally dump it straight in, and then it goes straight into the wash when you get home. Comes with a little foot pad again, so if you've got muddy footwear, you don't have to stand on the gravel in the car park.
You change your shoes.
And change your shoes. You've got a nice little foot pad, but that also then acts as a lid for the pack. So if you were kind of wanted to keep anything dry, or just to make sure no one knows what you're carrying, you can cover that up as well.
So it's a sort of a hold-all come utility hold-all, really, isn't it? Is that new to you?
So yes, this is something that is new for us in the collection. So this will be launching in 2025.
Brilliant. Okay, so just to finish off then, just give me an idea of prices on the pack that we looked at and the travel bag there.
Yeah, so the Talon collection starts at around £115 for the 11 litre and goes up to about £180 for the 44 litre. The travel packs, depending which volume you go for, around £175 and £185 as well.
Yes, I did mention that Osprey have very kindly created a 15% discount code just for Outdoors Station listeners. Now, it's only running for a few weeks after you hear this, so if there's a particular item you've been lusting after on the website osprey.com, use the code, the word outdoors, followed by the number 15, followed by the percentage sign. So that's outdoors 15%. And yes, a 15% saving will all be yours. I've just checked it, it's working and it's live. And that's it, folks. Do please share these podcasts and all the details about the discount codes with your other outdoor buddies. They are purely set up for Outdoors Station listeners, and they are not an affiliate for me. So I'm just sharing the love, guys, sharing the love. So, until next time, folks, take care out there. I can see the sun is actually shining through the window. This is a bit of a shock, so I'm going to go and enjoy it. Until then, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To hear or see more from our extensive free library, please visit theoutdoorstation.co.uk.